Well, good evening, good morning, good afternoon. It looks like we got ourselves a brand new Dota patch on our hands here, 7.41, and it's a big patch. It's a big patch. I just came from work, drove 30 minutes to come home just to record this video just for you guys. And I already spoiled myself on a few things in this patch. And long story short, it's good to know that because of the changes within this patch, another one of my videos, my facet video, has been rendered obsolete because of Valve and Dota updates. So that's a nice thought to have. But let's get into it. And this is the headlining change. 7.41. All facets have been removed from the game. This has a lot of implications as to what exactly the Dota team or the Dota balance team is probably thinking, because facets is a very new feature. It's a very new feature that they added to the game. It was a very fundamental change to the game because it alters everything. All heroes were affected by this, and it was such a all-encompassing change that I guess it proved itself too difficult to balance. But I'll probably make a separate dedicated video just talking about the implications of the facet removal. But for now, facets have been removed. That's that. Whether they're gonna come back or not, I don't know, but we'll go from there. So now innates no longer scale with other ability levels. All innate abilities that used to scale with other abilities now either provide unchangeable bonuses or improve on a per level basis. Okay, I'm just skimming through what else it's saying here. Okay, yeah. Abilities that had a per level scaling changed to be per level. Abilities that had per level up scaling. Okay. Got it. I guess because in 7.40, a bunch of heroes got their facets removed. Like, Largo didn't have it, Lynx didn't have it, Pangolier didn't have it. And maybe Valve, through their data mining or, through their observation, noticed that just by removing it proved to be less problematic for them. Probably. I don't know. But this will be interesting. I already know for a fact that because facets were removed, that means a lot of the mechanics within those facets are probably, this is my prediction, they're probably going to be remixed into different aspects in the hero, and some of them just probably will just be discarded. Probably, but we'll see that when we get there. All right. Flag bearer creep bounty increased. Experience bounty. Okay. It's good. First siege creep timing decreased from 35 to 30 minutes. And the second creep timing now occurs at 60 minutes. Okay. All right. Little more XP for in the lanes. And that just means you're going to get more siege creeps earlier on. Okay. Will this result in faster games? Probably. Because you'll get more XP, more siege creeps. I don't know how big of a change this will be, considering flag bearer creeps aren't that common. They only appear like every third wave or something, right? So we'll see. Adjusted the meeting point of the lane creeps towards the off lane. Off lane creeps now slightly slowed upon leaving the base for a couple of seconds. Ooh, both these changes are effective until. So that means that the offlane, the creeps will land. Oh, okay. So that means, because before, when in the offlane, sometimes you would want to purposely not body block your creeps, so that way your creeps will actually collide under the enemy tower. But because of this change, your creeps are now slower. The enemy safe lane creeps are faster, so it kind of actually encourages you to, because there's no way for the creeps now to collide underneath the enemy tower, and you body blocking it will just make that even worse. So this Depending on the positioning, this could be seen as a buff, but also a nerf. It also just depends on how you personally like to play the offlane. But because the creeps now are further away from the enemy tower, that might mean that if it's a particularly aggressive pos 5, you might be at a disadvantage. But this is only until the 7 minutes 30 seconds, which is very interesting. I don't think this is the first instance of this ever happening, because for the most part, Dota doesn't really have like hard rules or exceptions when it comes to the lane creeps. The only rule that I can think of that was added as an exception is the very first creep wave cannot be aggroed. This was to prevent like axes from cutting the wave before they hit the tower. So creeps will ignore you on the first wave, and now offlane creeps and safe lane creeps have different varying move speeds for the first few minutes of the game. That's interesting. As an offlane player myself, I am excited, I guess. I'm more excited than nervous. More excited to see how this will affect the laning phase. But all right. All sections of the current now grant max move speed bonus of 150. What was it before? Okay. So now the currents, the rivers, they make you faster. Okay. Or certain parts make you... Oh, no, all sections. Yeah. Okay. Good to know. So movement around the map is better. More XP. And offlane, the lanes will just be... basically, the lanes will be closer towards the offlane tower. For the most part. Yeah, like lanes universally now the creeps will meet mostly closer to the offlane's tower, which could be a good thing or a bad thing, depending on how the lane goes. All right, next up, map objectives. Tormentor. All right, the spawn has been switched, so now it goes bottom, right? Yeah, bottom chasm. Okay. The barrier has been increased by 1,000. That's a lot. Barrier upgrade per minute has been increased. What the fuck? Okay. Big barrier buffs, so it's harder to kill. The regen is okay. So it's now less reliant on burst damage. You can now DPS this thing a little better. Still a fat shield increase though, but we'll see. Minute increased. Okay, so yeah, this means teams with less burst damage can deal with the Tormentor a little better. All right. Reflect radius can now be seen using the alt key. That's actually really good, because I have no fucking clue what the range of this thing is. The shining base damage decreased from 60 to 20. I'm assuming that's the DPS, the burn that it gives. Now increases by 2 per minute. 2 per minute. So okay. That doing some rough math in my head, by like so 10 minutes, that means you get another 20, and then okay. So I mean, it encourages you just to take Tormentor much quicker. And since you don't burst damage isn't something a lot of teams will have from the get-go, this is actually a good change, even though the Tormentor technically is harder to kill, but because it's a lot easier to deal with less bursty teams, you're encouraged to take Tormentor quicker. Now has 25% status resistance. I mean, what was the point of stunning the Tormentor? Did stunning the Tormentor stop it from reflecting damage or something? What does that stop it from burning damage? I don't know. No longer deals damage to neutral units. Okay. The player that got the Aghanim Scepter Shard will no longer receive 175 gold. If all players have the Scepter, the Shard, decreased from 455 to... Okay, so as compensation for being, I guess, technically easier to take, the rewards have been slashed, but I mean, it's still good. You should still take this. Maybe with all these incentives, lower ranked players will actually start taking Tormentor. Maybe. We'll see. Roshan's Pit has now been switched. Okay, so same with this. don't know if that makes any significant changes to the macro of the game. I can't imagine that this does anything meaningful. I mean, Roche will still swap. Like he'll walk around along the river, so okay. Wisdom Shrines and Lotus Pools now reverse their cooldowns if heroes from opposing teams enter the area instead of pause. Oh, that's so good. That's so good, because that's such bullshit where like you're both fighting underneath the lotus or the shrine, and like you're a millisecond away from unlocking it, and you step away. You step out of the AoE for like 1 second, and like for a microsecond, and they get it. Okay, that's actually really huge. Wisdom Shrine experience changed from 280 per interval to 200 base and 300 per. Oh, that is gigantic. Damn. Okay. Well, I mean so before it was 280. That would be, math is hard. That's 5 by the second shrine. That's 560. Yeah, 560. Whereas now it just gets you 200, and then does the next one get 3? No, that's less. Yeah, that is less. Huh. Okay. That is actually a nerf. Yeah, but at least by Shrine 2, that's still considered a nerf. Yeah, Shrine 1 is a nerf, Shrine 2 is a nerf. I guess as it goes on, it technically outpaces what it was before, but considering XP in the early to mid game, I would argue is a lot more important. This could be seen as an overall nerf, but I do know for a fact that with big patches like this, they're gonna change talents. That means level 20 and 25 talents will be changed. So the importance of getting all this XP, debatable, whether or not this is an overall buff or nerf. But on paper, this is, heck, I would consider this a nerf. It's a rebalance, but I would consider this a nerf. By the way, I'm just like an Ancient 5 player, so my opinions on the competitive viability of Dota should be taken with a huge grain of salt. Okay. Tormentor spawns have been positioned closer towards Lotus Pools. What does that look like? I would like to know what that looks like. I actually have the game open right here. I will load up the map. Yeah, I'll load up the map, and yeah, I'll let that load in the background while I read this. Tormentor spawn areas have been reduced to low ground relative to the lane's level. Oh, okay. Lotus Pools have been moved slightly closer to the respective off-lane towers. That's so good. That's so good. Okay, so I guess as a small compensation to the lane change earlier, the off-laner will now have an easier time getting the Lotus fruit. Twin gates move slightly away from the stairs towards the map border. The Watcher between Safe Lane Tier 1 tower and Tormentor has been repositioned. Result: Tormentor is now in the low ground, which has 3 stairs, one leading to the Lotus Pool, one leading to the lane, and one leading to even higher ground with the Twin Gate. I need to see what this looks like. So, there we go. I have the game open right here. Just gonna buy a Blink Dagger, and just, let's go check it out. Just gonna blink over here. Okay, so the Tormentor is here. The Lotus Pool, yeah, it is. Like, it's ever so, like, before this central spire thingy was like here. Okay, so the off lane's there, and then it's there. Here's the stairs that leads to the Tormentor. So taking it is risky, but there's this Watcher here that can give you vision. Okay, so that covers this area, not up here though. And then the Twin Gate, yeah, so it's much closer to the border. And then like, same thing here. There it is. Yeah, this one is, the Lotus Pool here in the Dire off lane is a lot less pronounced than the one over here. But yeah, I can see it. I like this one. I like this change. The fact that now, just like taking Roshan, it's going to be risky. It's low ground, so that's good. The Watcher's still there, so you have this area covered with vision. You just got to worry about here and here. That's good. Question: if I stand here, will that provide me vision over here? I need to see this. This is important. So let's say if I travel here. Okay. I cannot see that past this thing. Or if I stand here. Yeah, okay, so there's still, even if you have this thing secured, there is a lot of vision to consider when taking the Tormentor. That's good. I like that. Okay. Let's just pause that for now. Back to here. Okay. Ancient creep camps near this ancient neutral camps near stream ends demoted to medium camps and moves slightly towards tower. Medium neutral camp near the offlane defender gate has been demoted to a small neutral camp. Interesting. So wait, let's read all this. The tier 1 safe lane towers have been moved slightly away from their pull camps where the creeps met. Radiant safe lane has moved slightly adjusted to the left so that... Okay. A lot of lane jungle tower readjustments here. I want to see this. Tier 1 safe have been moved slightly away from their pull camps. So let's see. Oh yeah. Yeah, it has. So it's here. Like before it was here. And then up here. Yeah. Okay. But it's just further in the opposite direction. They didn't move it closer to the left or to the right. They just like moved it lower here and like higher there. So that means if the creeps are trying to pull, okay. That does mean though that this tower is no longer defending you from these trees anymore as much. So meaning that if the enemy offlane and pos 4 are trying to, you know, fish you out for damage, they can do much easier though. That does mean though that this area is safer. Yeah, it is safer now, like because of the bigger coverage. But then again, you know, give and take, and this is going to be an interesting change. Where was this? So this camp is now a medium camp. Oh, so that means there's only this is now an ancient camp later on, and just this. That is interesting. Okay, it's too early to tell how this will affect overall macro, but as a pos 3 main, I appreciate this change a lot. The ability to fish now for damage away from the enemy tier 1 is a lot better. I also saw that they did some changes to the tier 2. Specifically, it says here, Radiant offlane tier 2 tower has been adjusted slightly to the left so that creeps do not path on both sides of the tower. Radiant tier 1, tier 2. This thing? Slightly to the left. Yeah, I guess. Maybe it was like here, sort of. Yeah, okay. Alright. When it comes to these map changes, I can't really make a strong opinion on them, but from what I've seen, I like the tower change. I like the Tormentor change. The Lotus pools being moved closer to the offlane. Very good. As far as I know, mid has not been affected, or is it? I don't know why there's no mid tower. Did I miss that? Did they remove mid towers? I didn't see that in the patch notes. I'm assuming this is just a map bug. I'm gonna have to reread that. All right, let's head back here. Let me double check. Dear God, what if there was a gigantic patch note that said mid tower is gone? No, okay. I think it's just a bug. All right. Mechanics changes. Health restoration. Health restoration now applies all forms of life. Now applies to all forms of life gain. Did not apply to incoming heals. Interesting. So like ally heals and stuff like that, like an Omni Knight purification. Okay. Incoming heal amplification now stacks diminishingly with heal restoration instead of. Wait. Heal amplification now stacks diminishingly with heal restoration instead of additively. Okay. That makes sense. It seems like they're just kind of gutting anything that's stacked additively. Like additive number stacking in Dota is just basically just going the way of the dodo and just disappearing. But okay. Spells that previously had separate value for incoming health, incoming heal reduction, now only modify health restoration. Okay. So yeah, a heal reduction just does not exist. Instead, it just adds a negative. It just adds a negative modifier to this. Okay, I mean, on paper, that it basically functions the same. As a result, change spells that only modified health restoration will now additionally affect incoming heals. Oh. Okay. Oh, here, lifesteal and damage manipulators. Physical and magical lifesteal will now take into account overall damage reductions, amplifications when calculating how much to lifesteal. Really? Was that not the case before? So if you hit someone with Aeon Disc, it's not gonna lifesteal as well. I had just assumed that it would still. I guess I learn something new every day. So that means when you slap somebody with a satanic on and they have Aeon Disc, you just don't get any heals because you're not dealing any damage. Interesting. I will test this right now, actually. So let's say I have a Abaddon enemy. Okay. And gotta lower the health a little bit here. So he hits me a few times with this. Okay. And then I have a... I'm already spoiling myself. I can see some of the new items. I'm just gonna ignore those for now. Alright, so I have this. So if he borrows time and I lifesteal up... Damn. Okay. Whereas... Yep, now I'm healing up. That is... I like that. More counterplay, more layers of interaction, mind games to be played, strategies. I like that. Okay. I'm surprised that wasn't the case before. Excuse me. But I like that change. Okay. Historically, lifesteal was calculated before some damage reductions or amplifiers were applied. As a result, you could gain health from attacks that dealt no damage. Yep, there we go. This will not happen anymore. The only amplification that is not taken into account is increased damage against illusions. Okay, so you're not gonna get like a bajillion lifesteal because illusions take more damage. Okay, that's fine. All sources of reflection damage now have an alt-click note detailing mechanics of reflected damage. Oh. The following answers. Okay. Reflected damage cannot be reflected back. That whole Tidehunter blubber, or the Tidehunter Kraken Shell anchor smash. Okay, yeah. We that was fun. That was a fun time. Lifesteal and spell lifesteal do not apply to reflected damage. Reflected damage does not affect debuff immune units. Okay, we already knew that. Units with free movement can now miss their attacks when attacking uphill targets. Ooh. Okay, but this is the Firefly. Okay, well, it doesn't specify Wyvern though. Yeah. Wyvern is not specified here. Is there a specific thing about Winter Wyvern that specifically says that you cannot miss? I need to check this. Wyvern. It does not say. I'm gonna have to wait. I want to test this. Because I feel like this could be an oversight. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna see. No, I'm not missing. Yeah. It's just straight up not missing. Whereas like if I attack from here, miss. That could be an oversight because like, yes, visually Winter Wyvern is flying, but like so is Batrider, so is Lena's Ags. They're also flying. Like look. Where is it? There it is. Yeah, look.
Yes.
See? She's also flying. Is she missing? Yeah, she's missing.
Like a wildfire.
That feels like an oversight, unless there's really something specifically. Yeah, there is nothing. I feel like that's a little bit of a the biggest oversight, but okay. All right. I mean, it makes sense for everyone else. That's a little fair, but of all of these heroes who is known for hitting while flying and being an annoying little shit, I feel like Wyvern is probably up there, so it's interesting that she gets exempted from this rule. Anyway, let's head back here. Okay. All right, we got some neutral changes. All right. Damage buff, damage buff, damage buff, damage nerf. So the Cobalt Camp deals a little bit more damage. The Vool Assassins deal less damage. The Ghosts, less. That's actually a lot of damage decrease. Okay. The Harpy, slight. I would say slight buff. It's a rebalance. Okay. Shockwave. Ooh, that's actually really nice for Chen and like Doom and shit. Okay. That's good. That's very nice. Siege shot damage increased. Also very nice because 100 damage, kind of poopy. The Boglet. After neutrals cast this ability, all copies of... Oh, okay, that's good. So that means only the entire frog camp can only cast like one spell every 5 seconds. That's good. I like that. Anyway. All items in all shop categories except consumables have been rearranged to accommodate for new items. Consumables now includes infused raindrops. Wait, really? I was looking at the shop and I didn't even notice that. Here, let me show it. Yeah, I can see it. Yeah. So here are the... All right. Okay. I mean, it's still a visual mess. It still is, especially for new players. New players are not going to know what the fuck these things are. That's been one of Dota's biggest problems, is that new players cannot make rhyme or reason with any of this. But again, I guess any attempt at sorting out this visual clutter, no matter how insignificant, is still nice, I suppose. All right, let's get back here to the thing. All right. So new items. Chasm Stone. 800 gold, 40 AoE. Do not stack or its upgrades. Okay, so we have a dedicated AoE item now. Shawl. Okay. 10%. Okay, alright. Armor. Splint mail. But chainmail still exists as the cheaper option. And cloak is still there as well. So this is like this is the chainmail for magic resistance items. Okay, you also got the wizard hat. All right. I saw somebody in the Dota 2 PowerPoint server who said that their headcanon is that this is a pirate software reference. You know what? I personally don't believe it, but let's just say you have my interest. If this is truly a pirate software interest, then Valve is based as fuck. All right. Cloak increased from 800 to 900 gold. All right. Decreased. Oh, that's a nerf. That's a. Well, we'll see what the cloak now builds up into, because sure, this is a nerf on paper, but it all just depends on what the cloak builds into. So we'll see. Cornucopia removed from the game. Good fucking riddance. Don't want to see this everything item in my games ever again. Oh, this also means that, just a little prediction here, I'm hoping that Phylactery gets nerfed or reworked or something. Now modifies incoming heal as a result of... Okay, but the number is still the same. I'm assuming. Like if I go back into, I'm just checking here. It reduces healing reduction by 13%. Yes, okay. I think that was the same. I did see this. I was spoiled on this one. Refresher shard, reset cooldowns, no longer refresh items. This will be very interesting. That means refresher shard, refresher orb. The appeal of this items has gone much, much, much way down. Because in the late game, you know, you can, for certain characters, double BKBs is gigantic, huge playmaking bullshit. So if it's now just items, or if it's just spells, that is going to be very... It's going to be a lot more situational. And that's also taking into account that, as far as I know, I'll get to the refresh. Wait, was refresher orb modified? I'll get there when I get there. But assuming refresher orb wasn't changed much, because they implemented that change, that refresher orb, like the cooldown gets longer each time you use it. That means the appeal of refresher orb will go even, like, it's even worse. Interesting, very interesting. All right, the Ring of Health. All right, so the Ring of Health and Void Stone go back to their OG positions in the item moved back to the secret shop from the missile. I don't know why they worded it like this. Like, normally it'd be like removed. Anyway, so these two items are back in the secret shop. Okay, where they fucking belong. Okay. Voodoo Mask, spell lifesteal increase. Okay, a little bit of a buff so far. We'll have to see what the implications of this change means, but I'm assuming because of this AoE item, I predict we're gonna have at least two items. I don't know if Gleipnir is still gonna do it. Probably something else is gonna do it as well. So there's probably gonna be a branching. There's going to be a new branch of items that provide AoE bonuses. All right, let's see. Consecrated Wrap. Oh, it looks like an anti-mage item from the picture. All right. Armor item. Vitality booster, shawl, crown, and recipe. Cheap, magic resistance, health, attributes. Hollowed. Gains a stack every 3 seconds, up to a maximum of 3 stacks whenever the wearer takes damage from a player-controlled unit or Roshan. All stacks are removed to create an all-damage barrier for 7 seconds that absorbs 120 damage per removed stack. Okay. If the player reached a max amount of stacks in at least once in a game, remaining... Wait. If the wearer reached the maximum amount of stacks at least once in a game, regaining a stack provides a non-stacking buff that increases movement speed for 7 seconds. Has no damage threshold, but doesn't proc from health loss damage. Okay. Can't gain stacks for 3 seconds after taking damage. I need to see this in action. I want to play around with this. So let me change my hero back to... Let's just pick... I'll just stick with Mars. Okay. So where was it? It was under... There it is. Okay. So let's have just an enemy Mars here. One that won't kill me in like a billion hits. So it's any damage. Gain a stack every 3 seconds for a maximum upon... Okay, so I'm just gaining stacks. Right? Up to a maximum of 3. Okay. I don't know why they worded it in the patch notes of like once a game. Like they said, like what was it? I'm reading the patch note. It says here, if the wearer has reached a max amount of stacks at least once a game, regaining a stack provides a non-stacking buff that increases movement speed by 20 seconds for 7 seconds. Okay, so now I have 3 stacks up, and if I take damage... Oh, okay. And it... Okay, and it's giving me move speed. Yeah, okay. So as I gain stacks back, it's giving me movement speed. Alright, the build-up of this item is actually really appealing. Yeah, this gives a lot, actually. Could this be broken? This is a... oh, just looking at the shop right now, I can already see that Eternal Shroud is gone. I mean, this kind of functions like it, except it doesn't give you mana, which is one of the things that Eternal Shroud was kind of nice for. But this is a really cheap item, and it gives really, really good stats. That's a good amount of stats. Like, damn, just about 400 health, magic resistance, and it's also basically a movement speed item if you take damage. Really good. All right, let's go back. All right, Corellia's Grosner. I'm dyslexic. I'm not even gonna try to read that. Anyway, it's a new magical item. Requires Ghost Scepter, Soul Booster, and a recipe. Oh, okay, it's a pricey item. Okay. 6 attributes, lots of health, lots of mana. The Rite of the Rusacrae? Dyslexics. Anyway, the wearer enters ghost form 4 seconds, becoming immune to physical damage and unable to attack, and 30% more vulnerable. Yep. Steals 5% movement speed from enemy heroes. Oh, so this is like Necrophos's. This is like Necrophos's the other facet where you steal their movement speed. Movement speed steal lasts 1.5 seconds. Bonuses stack and have duration refuse upon gaining new stacks. No mana cost, 20-second cooldown. Ghost form and stolen movement speed can be dispelled off the wearer, but the stealing debuff that provides new stacks can't. The stealing debuff. Oh, so you can purge off the ghost form and the stolen speed, but it's the AoE will still be on and it will still continue to steal movement speed. Is that what that means? And now as a passive, putrefaction. So this is a Necrophos item. Reduces health restoration for... Oh, so this is the new anti-heal item. All right, 30% while the thing is active, the effect is increased. So they took out Necrophos's. This is literally Necrophos's old in Facet. They just remixed it into a new item. I kind of like that. But this functions. Oh, so that means Shiva's Guard is probably gonna get reworked, isn't it? Just because this does what Shiva's Guard used to do. But now it's been removed. And honestly, this is such a this build-up is infinitely more appealing than Shiva's Guard. Any item that just has an absurdly expensive recipe is just instantly unappealing. So this, as a dedicated anti-heal item, is so much more appealing. Because look at all these stats. This is a fat stat stick item. It's a literal stat stick item, and it gives you a lot of stuff. Damn, I think that I predict that this thing is going to get some nerfs because these stats are way too good. It gives way too much. Like it's a defensive item. It's a movement speed stealing item. You can even purge the stuff off of him, but you'll still continue to slow people. It's an anti-heal item, and it's a heal item for yourself. I feel like, it's an expensive item for sure, but compared to Shiva's Guard before, this is infinitely more appealing. Infinitely. So time will tell. I feel like this item specifically is a bit strong. I think this one's a bit strong. Anyway, Essence Distillter. Urn of Shadows, Chainmail, Wizard Hat recipe. Okay. Oh, is this the replacement for Soul Vessel? Interesting. Mana regen, mana regen, attributes, armor, mana. Soul Release. When cast on an ally, if the ally is attacked, okay. When cast on enemy, damage. True Sight. And shares their vision with the wearer's team. Shares their vision? This is like the old Bounty Hunter track. Both effects last 8 seconds. Can be cast on the ground to put a dormant effect that will latch on. What? Be cast on the ground? It'll. Jesus Christ! The effect lasts for 15 seconds. Provides a vision against charges every time a hero dies. Gains 1 charge of the. What the fuck? What the fuck? I'm not even a support player, and this seems fucking busted. Wait, so Spirit Vessel is still here. I guess, okay, so Spirit Vessel is still the dedicated anti-heal item. Yeah, it's still the anti-heal item, and it does deal percentage damage. And because of the recent change, these will not be fighting over stacks or like earn charges, right? I also like how so they shouldn't be fighting over stacks. I want to see what this looks like. I need you to die, sir. Okay, so like if you just wanted to put it in, what's the cast range? Oh. Damn. Wait, can it affect multiple? No, just one. That's fucking... That's insane. Like, here, so... That's fucking insane. Jesus Christ. It's so cheap. It's so fucking cheap. Oh my god. And you can still cast it on yourself, yeah. Jesus, this is a really strong item. Really strong item. So, unless there's a specific need for Vessel that you really have to deal with enemy anti-heal, this is just going to be a far more appealing choice, in my opinion. Alright, next. Specialist Armor Array. Oh, so they brought it back as a buildable item now. Okay. Blade of Alacrity Broadsword Recipe. Okay. Ranged only. Ranged attacks have a 30 chance to fire an additional projectiles up to 2 enemy heroes that aren't the original. Okay, so it's an angle in front. The additional projectiles deal percentage damage. Okay. Does not work with other sources. Gyrus. Okay, so it can't like proc off those other split shot type abilities. Okay, that does make sense. One moment. My voice is getting a little harsh from all this. I'm gonna get myself a drink. Don't go away. I'm right here. Got myself a can of Diet Cola. All right. Oh, this it has an upgrade now. Hydra's Breath. Sorry, adjusting my seat. Specialist Array, Dragonlance, Orb of Venom, and Recipe. Oh, this is a late game item. Damage, Agility, Strength, Attack Range. Passive, Miasma. Attacks poison the target for 3 seconds, dealing magical damage equal to their max health. If the debuff is reapplied, the duration is refreshed. Can't be applied by illusions or Roshan. Passive. Oh, so it's just this split shot again. Okay. Oh my god. This is going to be a fat buff to ranged hyper carries. Jesus. Damage equal to 2 I mean, it's a dedicated anti-tank. Yeah, dedicated anti-tank item now. And for the longest time, Dragonlance did not. Yeah, Dragonlance could only be upgraded into Hurricane Pike. But now it has an alternate path. And this Dragon Breath, Hydra's Breath item is just, it's a hyper late game ranged hyper. It's an item that a ranged hyper carry would want to build. Jesus Christ. This is like, I don't know how I feel about this as a person who's like primarily an offlane player. This feels like if they decided to give Wraithband an upgrade, you know? Like, I always felt like Dragonlance could only be built up into Pike, Hurricane Pike. And now they just gave it a hyper late game option. That kind of feels illegal, man, or something. I don't know. This seems really fucking strong, but it is very expensive. Very expensive. But if you're already a ranged carry, because Specialist Array, just by looking at this, it does seem like a really good farming item. Yeah, it does look like a good farming item. So this is just the ranged. I wouldn't want to say that it's the ranged Battle Fury, because Battle Fury is a pure farming item. So what they're basically doing is they're turning the budget ranged farming item into a hyper late game ranged option. That seems that build-up seems kind of insane. Am I wrong in thinking that? Because I think that's kind of crazy. But okay. Arcane Boots. Recipe change. Now requires Wizard Hat. Recipe cost decrease. Total cost. Okay, 100 more gold. But it now gives mana again. It buffs your mana pool. Look at that. I guess that's alright. That's good. 100 gold. The supports will be sad about that, but hey, you get a hat. You got a fucking hat. Recipe changed. Okay. Alright, so yeah, increased because of the fucking hat. Alright. Not much big changes with the Greaves. Recipe change now provides Perseverance instead of Cornucopia. Okay, so it's the same. It's just it's a little bit closer to what Battle Fury used to be, except it doesn't it doesn't use the broad claymore and the broadsword, but still it uses the Perseverance again. Anyway, BKB chain duration change. Ooh, so now 7 seconds is as low as it's gonna go. I guess this is their attempt at alleviating the refresher orb change, which I'm assuming is going to be down here when I scroll down, but okay. This makes sense, but 1 second might not be a lot. Now you don't get penalized for just kind of wasting your BKBs early, but 9 to 7 seconds, not a gigantic change, but it does punish you less now for being a little reckless with your BKB, but okay. Blade Mail. Recipe change. Now requires Splint Mail instead of Chain Mail. Recipe decreased. Total cost increased by 100. But as compensation, you get 1 more armor. Okay. It's fine, I guess. I mean, for 100 more gold, 1 more armor. It might make some heroes like Axe feel a little more sad. I remember the days when Blade Mail was like basically a 2,000 gold item, even a little below that, but its stats are getting buffed, so I guess. Alright. Crimson Guard. Armor bonus decreased from 8 to 6. The base damage rescaled is 7 on melee, 45 on range. Oh, this is just a nerf. Fat nerf for Crimson Guard. Makes sense. It was really tough to deal with. Alright, fair. Having different blocks for melee and range is very funny. It feels like something that should have been there from the beginning, but this is deserved. This is fucking deserved, even as an offlane player. It was a nightmare to deal with. Alright, Dagon. Recipe changed. Point booster Wizard Hat Crown instead of Diadem Voodoo Mask. Unchanged. Okay. No longer provides lifesteal. Yeah. Wait, but it still has Voodoo Mask though. Wait, what? Huh? Wait a minute, what? What? So it uses a Voodoo Mask, but it doesn't provide spell lifesteal. That seems like a mistake. What? Because like, I remember back in the days of old Dota, right, where certain items, when you upgrade them, they lose some of the bonuses that the build ups provided. Like I'll give an old example. The old Helm of the Dominator. It used to be it was built from a light morbid mask and a Helm of Iron Will. You combine those two together and you get a the Helm of the Dominator. But I remember way back when you combine these items, the stats, the HP regen and the armor, no, it was the HP regen given through the Helm of Iron Will was just gone. Like when you upgraded these items, you lost the regen for Helm of Iron Will. Eventually they fixed it so it did provide the stats that from its buildup. But I always thought that all new items moving forward went away with this practice, but now it looks like we have it back because this is the spell lifesteal item. It is the basic component for spell lifesteal. And now when you upgrade it into the Dagon, you have lost that entire aspect of the item. That does not make sense to me. That feels like a mistake. Like maybe they were trying to... Wait. Oh, I'm stupid. Disregard everything I just said. Yes, it requires Point Booster, Wizard Hat, and Crown instead. I'm stupid. I should just read. Maybe I'm not dyslexic. Maybe I'm just illiterate and stupid. Yeah, okay. Ignore everything I said. Okay. That was a joke. Now provides health, mana, cast range. Cast range? What? This is the cast range item now? And it doesn't use Aether Lens? Oh. Okay. So that means in the late game, you now have a bonus cast range item. Granted, I'm looking at the in-game right now. Aether Lens provides you with 225 cast range for a 2,200 gold item. Whereas this, even at its absolute max, after you invest 7,000 gold into it, only gets you 180. Which, I mean, sure, it's supposed to be like something on the side, but that is interesting. Dagon Skywrath mages coming to a pub near you. Okay. Here we go. Cast range is not the stack with Aether Lens or multiple Dagons. So you have to choose this or the Aether Lens, assuming you even want to build that item. Because I looked in-game, Aether Lens still does not build into anything. Okay. The effective cast range with the items built in cast range bonus decreased. Okay. No longer kills non-ancient creeps. No longer heals for... So you can't use this to just insta-gib creeps now. Huh. Interesting. It's been a while since I've even built a Dagon, but that seems like... So it's purely just like a spell... magical burst damage item. You can't use it to farm. You can't use it to supplement your spell lifesteal or whatever. Interesting. Okay. Sorry if you heard that clicking. That's my chair, by the way. Let me just adjust it so you guys don't have to hear it later in the video. There we go. All right. Dragonlance, range reduced. Okay. Hurricane Pike, range reduced. Makes sense. Can cast range also decreased. Okay, so nerfs to the Dragonlance and Pike. All right. Drums, recipe change. Now requires headdress instead of robe of the Magi. Total cost unchanged. So it doesn't give int anymore. Gives a little bit more health and gives regen. So this makes it better as a tempo item. Yeah, because it now gives you strength, HP regen, movement speed. That's a lot of stats. POS 4 mains and like certain budget POS 3 builds. This seems really good. Boots of the Bearing. Yeah. Okay. Bongo boots, basically the same. Not much difference. Eternal Shroud. RIP. Very sad. E-Blade can no longer be disassembled. Okay. Gleipnir. Recipe changed. Now requires a chasm stone. Recipe decreased. Total. Okay. Alright, so slight nerf because it's a little bit more expensive, but that means you get access to the AoE bonus much quicker because it's now a component. So if you really, really want that AoE bonus earlier on, I think that's a fair way to balance it. Glimmer Cape now requires shawl instead of cloak. Recipe unchanged. Okay, so this is good. That means supports can access their bonus magic resistance a little quicker. All right. Hand of Midas. Transmutes no longer prevents camp clearing Madstone bundles from spawning if it was used on the last creep. I didn't even know that was a thing. All right. Getting granted guaranteed Madstone bundle from Transmute used to prevent the camp clearing bundle from spawning. Huh. All right. So this is like bug fixing. Okay. Harpoon can now target trees and pull the caster towards it, destroying all trees along the way. So, like Kez or Timbersaw? Interesting. Alright, that's cool. Heaven's Halberd requires Talisman of Evasion, Splint, total. Alright. Used to require. Okay, so it gives evasion, once again, armor, regen. 9 armor, no longer has damage block passive. Disarm cooldown decreased, cast range increase. Ooh, so it's a more expensive item. But it has been compensated, and I still need to remember that this can only be dispelled with hard dispels. So against certain lineups, this is very good. Yeah, because it's giving you like 3 layers of protection against physical damage dealers. You got evasion, armor, and regen. Like literally all the stats that you could give, that you would want. You actually have 4 layers to deal with physical damage. You have the disarm itself, you have evasion, you have armor, and you have regen. It's like quadruple protection against physical damage dealers. I find that a little funny, but okay. All right. Kaya. All right. Decrease. Mana decrease. Oh, okay. That doesn't really. Okay, so just Kaya nerfs. Kaya nerfs. All right. Cool. Lotus Orb can no longer be disassembled. All right. Recipe change. Oh, Mage Slayer. Okay. Now requires Perseverance instead of Cornucopia. Now requires Blades of Attack. Oh my God. This is so nice. I've been building Mage Slayer on Mars. And the Glove of Haste is the one component that I really don't like building, but this is so good. Oh, Blades of Attack. Yes. Yes. Total cost increase. Change due to cloak cost increase. So more regen because it's a Perseverance. Damage increased to 15. Oh, the Mage Slayer damage type. So the DPS is now physical. Oh my God. This is fucking huge. This only really applies to me because I don't like building pipe on Mars. I really don't. I build my Mars as a bruiser fighter type. And if the enemy has like really high amounts of physical magical damage, I build Mage Slayer. But this is like literally everything that I could want on Mage Slayer for Mars. Like, I don't need attack speed on Mars. I need damage. So more damage, more DPS, better stats. Sure, it's more expensive, but still, I like this. But I know for certain agility carries who built this item, they'll be sad about this. Not me, though. They can fucking suck it, dude. Alright. Mask of Madness. Berserk now also grants slow resistance. Oh. Okay. Bonus movement speed changed from 25 to all heroes to 8% to 12% for melee. Ooh, this is just I would say this is a big buff. This is a big buff. I didn't see Mask of Madness being built a lot in the last patch anyway, but big buffs. I think I would consider this a net positive for the item. Mechanism. Recipe cost increased from. Oh. Okay, yeah, nothing changed. Recipe increased. Oh, so Monkey King bar is more expensive now. Now provides attack range to melee heroes only. That's nice. That's a thematic change that makes sense. It's Monkey King's staff that extends. So I like that. That's good. Also got some tiny little buffs to compensate for the increased price. Actually, I feel like these 3 buffs more than make up for the 300 price difference in the gold, but okay. Nullifier now requires splint mail instead of Helm of Iron Will. Cost decreased by a solid 25 gold, but doesn't provide regen anymore. So that means the stats of this thing is just worse. And 25 less gold is like nothing. So that's a nerf technically, but I don't think people really care. You're not building Nullifier for the regen anyway. Oblivion Staff. All right, little buff. Now requires Claymore. All right. Unchanged. No longer provides regen, but increases the damage. And slight regen nerf, but increase. Okay. Now requires Oblivion Staff instead of Hyperstone. Oh, okay. No longer provides. So increase attack speed still is decreased, although not by a ton. Yeah, because there's no more Hyperstone. Damage increase. I think this is an overall DPS. Yeah, I think this is a buff. Like, look, it's a cheaper item, and sure, some stats were rebalanced, but only really this, just this, the 10 more damage, the increased stats. I think that's a buff. Okay, Orb of Corrosion. All right, yeah, okay. Cold attack, yeah, we saw that earlier. Now requires Wizard Hat instead of Energy Booster. So it's cheaper now. It's cheaper, but it doesn't provide as much mana. Makes sense, you're trading a hat for the Energy Booster. Now requires Chainmail instead of Crown. Okay. More armor. Alright, just a little rebalance. No stats. Less mana. That means you can. I feel like a lot of POS 4s liked building this because it helped a lot with the stat, because it gave you all stats and a decent amount of mana to help with your spamming, but now that's no longer the case. Perseverance, okay, that's cool. Cheaper phase boots, okay, but the stats aren't changed, so that's nice. Phylactery, really, that's it? Phylactery remains the same. Interesting. That means this, and unless I missed it, which I don't think I did, Konda's build-up is still the same. So if you really wanted to build like a battle magey frontline spell damage dealer, whatchamacallit, like a Necrophos or Leshrac or something, you could go Leshrac less so, but you could get Konda and that new Necrophos staff item, and you'll just become like the ultimate stat stick frontliner mage. Okay. Type of Insight now requires shawl instead of headdress. Recipe decreased, total cost unchanged. Barrier no longer affects units that have been affected by barrier within pipes. Oh. That's a nerf. That's a nerf. Which is fine, because as a POS 3 main, I hated building pipe anyway, so okay. Radiance. Toggling no longer breaks. Oh, here we go. Refresher Orb. Health regen increased. Bonus regen increased. Reset cooldowns. Okay, so it's been standardized. That makes sense. Okay. This, I feel like, makes sense, but this one will hurt. This will hurt a lot of people, but they tried to compensate where they could. Okay. Well, we shall see how this affects a lot of heroes, because a lot of them did the entire value of it was for the double BKB, or for specific heroes and matchups. But okay. Spell lifesteal. It's funny because this also brings it in line with the refresher from Deadlock, because it only refreshes spells as well now. Spell lifesteal bonus. All right. Slow resistance increase. All right. Slow. Oh, 25 to 30. That's a big number. Slow resistance. All right, cool. Modify. Here we go. Shiva's Guard. Now requires Splint Mail, Chasm Stone, and Veil of Discord instead of Veil of Discord. Recipe cost decreased because 2,000 gold is insane. I mean, 1,300 is still really high. So the item is a lot cheaper, but it doesn't give stats anymore. It only gives armor, and it provides AoE. It does the Arctic Blast increased damage, radius decreased. It doesn't, I mean, okay, it doesn't reduce healing because that's what the other item is for. But the Freezing Aura now pierces debuff immunity? So that means Shiva's Guard, because I mean the AoE bonus is nice and all, but 17 armor, that makes it the premier armor item of the entire game. But that being said, it's still a very expensive item, and I guess you would only really want to buy this on if there is a very problematic physical damage +1 on the enemy team who has a good amount of spell immunity. This could be like a decent counter to like Ursa's, Lifestealers, Troll Warlords. I mean, it already kind of was even before then, but I don't know. 17 armor is a lot. That is a lot. Like, god damn, this build up. That's just like, this is, yeah, armor item, AoE item, and big recipe. The fact that the recipe takes up the majority or like a big portion of this item's build up just makes it so unappealing to build, man. It's so unappealing to build. It's going to be a hyper niche pick then, because POS 3s can't just rush this now, just to get the anti-heal. Though this might be good for certain like squishy POS 2s. Leshrac would love this fucking item now, I think, because it just makes him tankier, more damage, and the fact that it also helps him survive through BKB opponents a little bit better, and it's cheaper too. Leshrac is going to love this fucking item because it also gives AoE. Yeah, so this is going to go from must-have item against versus high heal teams to just being a very hyper situational pick or a strong enabler of certain heroes. Safe to say that I, as a POS 3, will almost never want to build this unless I have a very, very good reason to do so. Bird Vessel no longer has separate value for incoming heal. Yeah, okay. Break goes into cooldown when the item is disassembled. Oh, so I'm assuming people were abusing that. Alright. Okay. Veil of Discord, Voodoo Mask, Robe of Magi, Fluffy Hat. Now, so this is a lifesteal item now. Okay. No longer provides armor. Now provides intelligence, HP, spell weakness. Oh, so Veil now builds into Bloodstone. Okay. That kind of makes sense. The fact that they gave the fact that this thing was basically a cheap. It was basically a cheap Vanguard, if you really think about these stats in some roundabout way. It was like a cheap Vanguard that made spells weaker, right? And now they just made it into a more rounded item for lifesteal, and now it builds into Bloodstone, which Veil of Discord now requires Veil of Discord instead of Voidstone and Voodoo Mask. Wait, what? So what's the build up? I'm checking in game. Okay, so it's just a Veil of Discord and a Soul Booster. Sorry, Bloodstone gonna give a fat amount of stats. Yeah, fat stats, but decrease the spell lifesteal a little bit. More health gives intelligence. Active does not provide a basic dispel. No longer multiplies spell lifesteal bonus by 3. Now increases spell lifesteal by 60%. No longer has a 30-second self debuff preventing repeated use. So you can refresh this more, or if you have like enough cooldown reduction. now provides passive. That because you rarely ever saw this in recent. Bloodstone has not been favored, but that's something. That Jesus, to passive 12%. Huh. And do you lifesteal more? Yeah, you do, because of the recent lifesteal change. So that means that you lifesteal more because your spells will just naturally deal more damage. So this 5% decrease is really not that important. Huh. Jesus Christ. You combine this Bloodstone, I can see it now. I can see a raid boss Lishrak with a Bloodstone, a Shiva's Guard, and the other item. And he just becomes a menace. Holy fuck. I better see some Lishrak nerfs at the bottom of this page. Christ. Okay, that's very... I mean, I'm happy that this item is now going to be somewhat... is actually going to be viable and interesting, and people are actually going to want to pick it up, but... This... Whew. Alright, Mr. Krabs, alright. Witchblade. Recipe increased. That's it, okay. Alright, now we got neutral item updates. Tier 1s are now available from minute 0. That is cool. Certain heroes can just like start taking camps almost instantly. There's a train in the background, so if you hear that, apologies. Madstone crafting for tier 1 items increased from 5 to 6. Makes sense. You have 5 more minutes to start killing camps, so that I would consider to be a buff. But we'll have to see what new neutral items we have. Neutral item choices increased for oh shit. That is really nice. But I'm assuming as compensation, are they gonna increase the pool of items to choose from? We'll see. Ash Legion Shield, barrier increase. Okay, buff. Okay, rebalance, but I think this is a buff. This because this makes this is such an amazing farming item, especially if you can deal the damage but you can't take it. Okay, nerf. So this nerf just makes this more appealing as a jungling item. Dagger of Ristool. It's back as a tier 1. Increase damage by 25 for 8 seconds, 100% health cost. Okay. Like all these are just different ways of farming the jungle early game, I guess. Forager's Kit. When this item is off cooldown, the wearer can see trees that can be foraged. Standing next to one of these trees for 1 second will give the wearer one of the following items. All items except for the bag of gold are placed in the inventory if slots are available. It can stack up to 5 times per slot. Possible items. Oh my god. Okay. Ironwood Nut provides 3 movement speed, grants 1 primary stack when consumed. Oh my god. No, I don't want to. Oh no. How many? Wait, how many can stack up to 5 times per slot? How many can you have? Because I don't want to see people holding on to this stupid item for minutes on end because they're like, oh bro, I gotta pad out my stats. No, please. The Dormant Curio was already bad enough, which I'm not sure if it's still in the game, but okay. Anyway, the nut gives movement speed and a primary stat. Okay. The Tomon Khan's King Cap. 2 intelligence can be consumed instantly to grant a target 50 plus of their maximum mana. Vital Toadstool, 2 damage, can be consumed to max regen for 10 seconds. If the unit is attacked, the bonus is lost. Bag of gold doesn't need to be picked up. I want to see what this fucking looks like. I want to fucking see what this looks like. It's better not be some egregious bullshit. Let's see. Oh, so they did. They did increase the pool of items. Dormant Curio is still there. Alright, let's see. Where is it? Here it is. Alright. Where is this tree that can be foraged? Show me the tree. Oh, I see you. Okay. So I stand next to the tree. Why is it not working? I got a bag of gold. And I refresh. Refresh the... There's a tree. And I eat it. I eat it. Why can't I eat it? Oh, I'm already eating it because I have free spells on. So I eat it. There. Oh my god. Oh no, people are gonna hold on to this item forever, dude. I don't want this. I don't. You know why? Because I'm also going to be affected by this. I'm obsessed with number go up, man. I don't want this item in my fucking games because it's going to tempt me. Lord help me. The flesh is willing, but the mind is weak. Or is it the other way around? Oh my god. +2 intelligence. So if I enable free spells. +2. Oh, okay. So this one does not give. This one is not a infinitely stacking thing. Okay, how about this one? That's good. 2 damage. Okay, so it's just the other thing. It's just the acorn, the ironwood, whatchamacallit. That's the one that gives you infinite stats. Oh my lord. There it is again. So if I turn on free spells and I just... No. Because people are going to be obsessed with this specific item. Please. No. Is this shareable? It better fucking not be. Let's test it. Okay, it's not. But can you alt-click it? Did it work? It's supposed to increase her primary stat. I'm not seeing her primary stat go up. Okay, I don't think it's shareable. Thank fucking god. Alright. Possessed Mask is back. Lifesteal. Attacks heal for 5 health. Alright, cool. Yet another farming obsessed tier 1 item. Stonefall, Stone Feather Satchel. Transmogrify. Activate to switch the contents of the patch between feathers or rocks. Huh? Pound of feathers. Increases movement speed by 12 and distance of force movement. Okay. Increases armor. Okay, so you choose between more movement speed and armor. So it's just like a and or that. Alright, cool. Weighted dice. Now increases max base damage by 6. So that's just a buff on top of what it used to do. Okay, buff. Crippling crossbow. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. This fucking item sucked, dude. Okay. Yeah, number nerfs to compensate for it being a tier 2. Now modifies healing. Alright. Access to early anti-heal, I suppose. Nobody's gonna go, wow, crippling crossbow. Yeah, fuck this item, dude. Medallion, it's back. If cast on an ally, increase their armor. If cast on the enemy, decrease their armor. Cannot be cast on self. Okay, yeah, basically what it did before. Searing Signet, total damage decreased. And threshold increase, so that's a nerf. The seeds are back. Place a circle around the ground, regen, and caster's health. Okay, so just another regen. Whisper of the Dread is gone. Rip in spaghetti. Cloak of Flames. Ooh. And I also like how... Okay, so they all have the tooltip for what Dormant Curio does. Except for this thing. It doesn't show what Dormant Curio does. I guess we'll just have... remain a mystery, I guess. Burns enemy units, 40 damage. Okay, Cloak of Flames is back. Gunpowder Gauntlet. Nerf, because the cooldown is increased. Pollinate, health restoration. Increased. Okay. Ooh. Artisan's Brand. Increases spell damage against player-controlled units. So it's specifically to deal with Zoo heroes. Player-controlled units includes heroes and any... Okay, so this specifically is just a anti-Zoo. Anti-Zoo or anti... heroes. Does that include illusions? Either way, it's meant to deal with bullshit. Summoned bullshit. Okay, slight nerf to Shiv. Spell Slinger. Whenever you cast a spell, 20% of the is restored over 10 seconds. Ooh. So just more mana. More mana is basically. Ooh, Stormcrafter's back. Zaps units, slowing them. This is nice, because this was a tier 4 item before, and it did not feel like a tier 4 item. Tier 3 makes far more sense. It's funny because, like, if you really think about it, Stormcrafter and Cloak of Flames basically act or function somewhat the same as passive AoE, except this one is just, you know, it's more damage in a small AoE, but this one has the slow. I think as an overall item, I would prefer Stormcrafter because the slow could be very beneficial. So I'm happy that this is back and is a tier 3. Conjurer's Catalyst. Spell over. Every 100 spell damage deals damage to their surrounding allies. Heroes deal 40 damage to their allies. Others do. Wait. Every 100 spell damage dealt to an enemy deals damage. So it's just spell explosion from your spells. I want to see what this looks like. So it's the... excuse me. Spell Catalyst. Oh, it's a tier 4. Okay. So what does this look like? Oh, I saw it. So if I... Okay, so just any spell, yeah, dealing 100 spell damage to an enemy causes them to overheat. What's its cooldown? It doesn't have a cooldown. It's just always on. But it only works if your spell deals over 100 damage. Okay. Fuck. I'm gonna have to like do some math as to which heroes can consistently deal damage over time spells over 100. Like, for example, can Venomancer get over that number? Let's see. With his ult. He can. What's that gonna look like? Oh, because it doesn't count as a proc. Okay. Okay, it is DPS, but it does not... Oh wait, no, I didn't buy the fucking item. My bad. Whoopsie daisy, but I still don't think it'll work, right? It shouldn't. Okay, the initial proc... Oh wait! It does. You can see the proc. So it's accumulating it. Oh. Interesting. Okay, so it doesn't say it, but damage over time spells will affect it. So like, does that include like Darkseer or something? Let's see. So if I get the Spell Slinger, does Darkseer still have an Ion Shell damage? Right, let's see. It does! Oh my god. Oh my. Oh my goodness. I think I found my new dormant curio obsession. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, who needs Whisper of the Dread? Who fucking needs it when you have this? Anyway, Dandelion Amulet. Damage block 300 damage. Okay, it's back. Enchanter's Bauble. Increases the bonuses of... Increases bonuses of the item's neutral enchantment by 15%. Every time you craft this item again, the bonus is increased by 40%. Increases the bonuses of the... Every time you craft this item again, bonuses. You can select... So you basically, when you apply the enchantments to this specific item, you get more bonuses. And every time that you get new neutral items, if you keep it, you get more. But this is a tier 4 item. That means you're sacrificing the tier 5. But then again, that means if you can get an enchanted... You keep the bonus from tier 4. And then if you get to tier 5, you also get them enhanced. Okay. This is dormant curio on steroids. Holy fuck. Against certain stat stick pos 1s, this is going to be a nightmare to deal with. And I don't even know what other new enchantments they've added, so we'll have to see. Metamorphic Mandible. Okay. This item's already kind of weird, but in more increased magic resistance. Okay. Prophet's Pendulum. Lingered. 30% of damage taken is delayed. Oh. Oh. Damn. That's this is going to be a really good item against really tanky yeah. If you just want to it's like Shiv from Deadlock. Yeah. Rattle Cage. Reverberate damage increased. Ooh. That's a nerf. That means it will proc less often. Okay. Tier 5 item. Harmonizer. Balance. Grants 5% mana reduction for every hero ability off cooldown and 6% amplification for every spell on cooldown. Item spells are affected by both effects. However, item cooldowns won't affect. This buff only counts towards current abilities that have cooldown. This buff only counts that have cooldown even if it's passive. Okay. Invoke sub-abilities don't count when they're hidden. So, for every hero off. So if your spells are off cooldown, meaning you're just holding them, you have mana reduction and more damage if they're on cooldown. This is a 5%. That's a lot for like Storm Spirit, right? Storm Spirit would love this item. And the effects are granted to items as well. Yeah, so you zip in, costing less mana. You cast your static remnant, and you stun them, and then that increases the damage, which also includes your items. And then when they come off cooldown, you can zip away for less mana. I feel this one 6%. Well, certain heroes. Fuck. How will this work for heroes who have like an unbelievable amount of sub abilities, like for example, Shadow Demon or Clockwork. Clockwork has a lot of abilities. They're all active. Huh. Does it include the sub-abilities? It doesn't say. So if you have more cooldowns, it's just better. All right. Rift Shadow Prism. Health cost. Okay. Nobody liked building this item anyway. It's a super niche pick as is. Skitter duration increased. Returning Witchbane is back. Basic dispels in an AoE. Cast range cooldown. Your attacks deal. Dude, okay, this part. It's going to be a hyper specific tier 5 item. Hyper specific. But if you get it, that aforementioned Storm Spirit will not be happy if you get this. All right, enchantment changes. The number of enchantment changes increased, so you get more choices. Okay. Enchantments are no longer randomized. New options are now based on your hero's primary stat, with some enchantments available to all heroes. All heroes. Quickened, Vital, Brawny. Oh, so Quickened is that's a mana and movement speed. Vital. I forget what Vital is. Is that the... I'm checking in game. Vital is... Oh, it's a new one. It just gives HP regen. Okay. Strength, Brawny, and Tough. So that's the HP regen. That's the health and armor, right? Yeah, armor and damage. Okay. Damn. Oh, okay. So basically, now, like for example, if you're a tier strength hero, let's say a tier 2 to 3, right? You have these 3 to choose from. And if you're intelligence, you have these 3 to choose. You have these 3 to choose from, or 5. Sorry, these 5 to choose from. So you always get what you want. That's kind of nice. That's a nice way to balance it out, because then it removes the RNG component, the uncertainty of it. All right. Boundless, Vast, Wise, all these removed. Quickened, yeah, guaranteed option. Vital to all heroes, so this is the regen. Yeah. Brawny, now granted for strength and agility. Tough, intelligence, and strength. Interesting. Alert, agility universal. Mystical, intelligence universal. No longer provides cast range. Okay. All right, Greedy's option. Now granted for strength heroes only. Regen rescaled, modifies incoming health. Rescaled intelligence penalty. Nimble, granted by move. It provides movement speed and damage, and minus health regen. That's imagine if your health regeneration is so low that you can your regen just starts to tick down by itself. But giving agility heroes more damage and movement speed, that's ooh, I guess this is a warranted nerf or like trade-off. Keen-eyed. Okay, it's the same as before. Universal heroes only. So damage, status resistance, negative attack speed. Okay. Timeless. All heroes have it. Evolved tier 5 for all heroes. Fleet-footed, all heroes. Vampiric, all heroes. Tier 2. Only for 5. Only at 5. Interesting. So 30, 20, 30. Hulking. Strength only. Regen. It's a heart. It's just a heart of Tarask. Okay. Audacious. This is the attack speed and magic damage. Feverish, intelligence, and manic. Base attack time. Oh my god! I mentioned in one of my new videos, which I will now have to fucking retcon after this bullshit. Actually, let me make some notes on that as well, because I'm going to have to do some changes to that video. But yeah, I talked about how I wished that there was more ways to modify base attack time, and now there is. So I'm gonna add manic enchantment affects BAT. All right, so that's something to correct in the video. But minus vision is a big sacrifice. 20% vision. And it also affects cast speed. Holy fuck, this I have to retcon so much in my video. But all right, now we finally got to the heroes. God, the video is going to take forever. Regen reduction. Okay, so it's just like a little tweak to help rebalance. So no more facets. Abaddon does not have facets anymore. So he doesn't have the quickening or the other one. And it looks like he doesn't get anything to compensate for their loss. It doesn't look like anything from those nothing from his facets was distilled into his kit. Total damage, so I mean it's a buff overall to Miscoil. Cooldown ooh, that's a big buff. I guess it makes sense because the reason it was increased was because of you had the quickening, but you don't have it anymore. Okay, I guess some considerations were made. Health regen increased, replaced with 25 Avernus DPS. 40 increased with 10 seconds borrowed time. 55 seconds, not counting cooldown reductions. Damn. Okay. I like that. That seems really good to me. I would prefer the consistent cooldown, the consistent uptime on the consistent lower cooldown than having to deal like with the quickening. Okay. Alchemist. Scepter increases base gold and max gold per 6. Okay, so you just get more. You just get more gold. Movement speed and slow increased. Damage also increased. Unstable concoction increased from 25. So just buffs. Just buffs. I guess also I'm going to assume I'm going to see a lot of buffs because of the removal of facets. So yeah. All right. I wasn't too familiar with Alchemist's facets even before this. AA. The Death Rhyme is now gone. Bone Chill improves with Ancient Apparitions level. Deals magic damage. Enemies are chilled for 4 seconds, reducing their movement speed per stack. If the target is an enemy hero, the debuff also reduces their strength. Deals magic damage. Oh, so this slow is only for enemy targets, so creeps. And if it's a hero, reduces their strength. Each instance stacks has independent duration, and just getting the ags will make it lower even more. So okay, they were able to take Death Rhyme or like whatever the Bone Chill facet and make it just his new innate. Okay. Cold Feet now just deals damage because that was part of the Death Rhyme before. Now deals damage. Okay, yeah. Now slows by 8%, which is of course affected by this. Mana cost lowered. That's a lot. That's a lot of mana reduction there. But no longer reduces. So now your Ags is only just for your innate. Okay. Ice Blast now deals damage. Replaced with Cold Feet damage per second. Okay. I think this is a good distillation of his facets into AA's kit. Makes sense. Anti-Mage. Base armor increased by 1. Haha, there's the meme. Prosecutor. No longer levels in Mana Void. Okay, so that's the one where you slowed, right? If they were low mana, correct? I could be wrong. I'm checking it right now. Anti-Mage, just wanted to make sure what it did. Yes, you slow them based off their missing mana. Okay. Effectiveness applied by illusions is decreased even more. And Ag Scepter increases mana burned by additional 1.5. Okay, so once again, less reliant on illusions. Cast range is nerfed. Oh, well, better early, worse late. Cooldown is the same, slightly better early. Mana cost. Okay. Huh. Alright. Resistances nerfed. Duration slightly increased. Cooldown worse early. AoE damage per second is... Oh. I think this is just an overall nerf, right? Yeah, because I wasn't too familiar with Anti-Mage's facets either, but I know for a fact that one of them included like you making an illusion, right? When you reflect the spell, I believe, or something like that. But it looks like they didn't try to distill a lot into Anti-Mage's kit here. But this does seem like a nerf overall. Like, sure, okay, more armor, but just by looking at these stats here, like, okay, you can burn more mana, but I think this is a nerf. Probably not a gigantic one, but a nerf overall. Arc Warden. Stat nerfs. Increased movement speed. No longer grants regeneration buff upon activating any rune. Now provides Arc Warden with all attributes permanently when Arc Warden are... Okay, so that was that. I could be wrong. Again, I didn't play Arc Warden. I didn't really pay attention to Arc Warden with or his facets, but I'm assuming that was a facet, correct? Could be wrong. The field now pulls runes and automatically activates ones that are inside. Wait, so you can like cast your magnetic field over a rune from far away and just remotely activate runes? I guess to make sense with his innate. Slow duration for Spark Wraith increased, no longer upgraded by Shard. Bounty rescaled to 70 plus 10 per level. Okay. Tempest Double is infused with the bonuses of Arcane, Invisibility, and Haste runes for 12 seconds. These runes do not provide runic infusion stacks. So just by getting a shard, you get 3 runes on your Tempest Double. That's a lot. That's a lot. I might have to speed things up here a little bit because some of these heroes I either don't know enough or don't know enough or just don't have the time to really share my thoughts with them, unfortunately. Spark Wraith cooldown increased with... Okay. And I'll just look at the big ones. Spark Wraith activation would replace with duration. Okay. Tempest Double has no penalties with replaced with all attributes. Oh my god, stat stick, art wardens. Alright, axe. Cloak of Blood innate removed. That's the one where if you got kills, you'll get armor, and Culling Blade gave more. Now his innate is Axe's strength. Okay, so it's his one man army is now his innate. As long as you're by yourself, you get strength. Okay. Culling Blade, each hero kills, permanent stack. So it's how it was before. It looks like Axe gets nothing from his call out facet, the one where you increase attack speed from enemies. It's a little sad, but I guess it had to be done. Bane. Once again, all his stats remain the same, although slightly nerfed. Attack range is slightly increased. Every time Bane kills an enemy hero or they down or respect any debuff, they receive a terror for the rest of the game. Each stack of that is too big. Huh? What in the fuck? So Bane, if you're some unfortunate bastard who died to Bane, or he was around and you died with his debuffs on you, your status resistance against him is just 25% less for the whole game. Huh. Wow. And it's permanent. You can't stop it. And you can't get rid of it. Jesus fucking Christ. I know that the old innate was where all your stats would get like rebalanced properly, but Jesus fucking Christ, what the fuck is this? 25%. I mean, sure, you have to actually get some, but like even just one or two stacks on a target is already a lot. And given that Bane is going to be putting in feeble on everybody, and whoever you decide to ult, people are gonna dogpile on top of. Oh my god. Okay, Nightmare. Unit vector targeting, sleeping targets. Okay, so you can just now, that's just his old facet. You can just do that now. Okay. But this is terrifying. This is fucking terrifying. Alright. Oops, phone. Whoopsie daisy. Apologies. Provides movement speed bonuses that reaches a maximum. Oh, okay, so alright, you got movement speed bonuses. I'm just going to have to skip to the ones at the bottom because I don't know much about Batrider. I'm so sorry. Sticky napalm increased by lasso duration. Okay. Slight buffs for Batrider, I guess. Beastmaster. Innate is now Inner Beast. Increases the attack speed per level. You get a little bit at level 1. Alright. Increase the damage of axes. The damage amp has been nerfed. And your new shard now attacks enemy heroes. Also apply wild axe debuffs on the corresponding level. So your basic attacks. Okay, so you can just hit someone. Does that like refresh constantly? Does it independent cooldowns? We'll see. Don't apply. Call of the Boar renamed to Summon Razorback. Boar's armor increased by 1. Haha meme. Okay, so the boar is just stronger. Summon raptors. Buff. Hawks are now invisible whenever Beastmaster is invisible. Okay. 2? What the fuck? Just fat buffs. Especially to summons. Just fat buffs. Okay. I don't want to look forward to that. Then again, they did add that one item that specifically is meant to deal with summons. So we'll see. Bloodseeker. Heal. Alright, rebalance. No longer a point targeted that now that only affects Bloodseeker. Sorry, my phone keeps exploding with messages. Sorry, everybody. Okay. Pure damage based on maximum target now pierces debuff immunity. So you can now deal a lot of pure damage to just people as long as you're just hitting them. Okay. Big Game Hunter. Bounty Hunter receives 15% more kill and assist gold if the dying enemy hero is big game. An enemy hero is considered big game if they are one of the top 3 net. Oh my! So this just means the Bounty Hunter is gonna have it out for the enemy +1. These heroes will have the debuff that points out if they're among these 3 heroes. Debuff is only visible to Bounty Hunter and his allies. So that you can just pick up Bounty Hunter and it's just gonna put a gigantic neon sign on the enemy Medusa saying, "Please, for the love of God, kill this motherfucker right now." If nothing else, it helps with the alertness of your team that, hey, the enemy carry is getting a little bit out of control. Can we deal with them? That's actually cool. I like that. I like that. Janata, a little bit buff early on. Grant's base. Oh, that's so fucking nice, dude. You know, historically, Bounty Hunter's Shadow Walk never actually gave him movement speed, if I'm not mistaken. It gave him attack speed. No, it gave him attack damage way back when. But I don't think historically Shadow Walk gave movement speed. Oh, but that means track. Okay, so track doesn't give movement speed bonus anymore. But I think that this is a better buff. I think. I kind of want to play Bounty Hunter now. This I like. This is very nice. Very nice. I don't exactly remember what his facets were, so I can't really comment if any of it was distilled here, but this one is nice. Brewmaster! Oh boy. Don't know what Brewmaster fucking does, dude. I'll be so honest with you. The boulder, nerfed at max level. Nerfed at max level. Okay, thankfully not that much to have to deal with. Prickly damage amplification changed. Stack limit increased to 6. Now has the same duration for all units. Used to have double duration on creeps. So I know that like before it was his facet was like you have an active for your ult or your bristleback procs your goo. But it looks like both is just gone, and Bristleback got nothing. He got nothing from his facets. Okay, let me write that down actually, because I'm also working on like a tiny little video here, for heroes that got nothing back. So Bristleback, nothing, remixed. Yeah, and Bristleback got nothing. Spider's Milk, hero health. All right, now provides lifesteal to spiderlings. Ooh, okay. Sustain on the spiders, scary. Movement speed decreased a little bit. All right, incapacitating bite. Now affects. Oh my god, they're making the spiderling stronger, but it's okay. The item, there's that one item that's supposed to deal with zoo stuff, so. Maybe. Anyway, Centaur strength increased. Removed the rawhide ability. That's the one where you gained infinitely scaling health as the game progressed. Centaur now gains 30% of his strength as bonus movement speed. This bonus movement speed does not stack. So does that mean Centaur still doesn't want to build boots? I'm testing this because before that facet specifically, can you tell that I'm a +3 main because I only remember the facets of the +3 traditional +3 characters. All right, so if I take Centaur, right, and so my movement speed right now is 305. So if I buy boots, will that go up? Where's boots? Okay, it still does. And if I buy a heart. Okay, at a certain point, the heart will, it will overtake the bonus. But let's say hypothetically, for the sake of argument, let's say if I sell these and I go for the double bracer, right? Oh shit, because I'm level 30 right now. Fuck. Apologies. Okay. So I start off with 308. I get a double bracer. Wow, that's nothing. That's nothing, bro. Okay. So you're still probably going to want to buy boots. Yeah. Yeah, you're still probably going to want to buy boots. Yeah. Okay. So this only really works if like you build if you tweak your build accordingly, because it's still gonna be a while before your strength will outclass the bonus movement speed from boots. I guess in the late game it will eventually, but this is kind of a nothing bonus. Kind of a nothing bonus for a while. I'll have to see in the bell curve of when at approximately what moment Centaur's strength outclasses the movement speed bonus, but we'll see. And he also gets the nothing from. I'm also gonna write that down. Centaur, the counter strike. Yeah, the counter strike facet gone. Chaos Knight, fundamental forging. So they just made one of his. They just turned his old facet into this thing. All right, due to negative effects. Okay, so because of the enchantments, the enchantment changes. You get a random enchantment that doesn't provide negative stats, and you can get from everything. Okay, so you just get a bonus. That's it. So when you're building neutral items, you just get a bonus. Okay, cool. Reality Rift. Slight better cooldowns at early, better stats early. No longer guarantees to create an additional. Now provides a passive component to the ability. Whenever an illusion of Chaos Knight is created, there's a 50% chance to create an additional illusion under Chaos Knight's control. The bonus illusion will be under Night Chaos, even if the other illusions will be made by an enemy. So if you get disrupted or something, that illusion is still yours. That's a very niche situational use, but I feel like that could be interesting. I'm gonna test it right now. Let's see. I have Chaos Knight here, and then I have Darkseer. An enemy Darkseer. And I walk through it. Wait, I'm not set. No, my kingdom. Okay, and then I get my. There we go. Wait, what? It's not making an illusion. What? Oh, does it have? Do I have to make a new one? A new wall? Huh. I guess it's just a chance, I suppose. I don't know. I guess I'm just not reading it right. Bonus illusions under Chaos Knights will be under even if other illusions were made by an enemy. I'll have to see what that means later on. Anyway, I gotta fast forward this. Chen! Oh my god, bro. That's a lot. But, okay. Both passive... When Chen respawns, he's joined Battleways, a melee warrior creep with a martyrdom ability, which allows him to sacrifice himself to deal damage or heal ally. Zealot has the same stats as the current melee creeps in his team, including... So you just get a super creep. You just get like a mega creep of your choice, of your team. Okay. So you can't choose your you can't choose your creeps anymore because you just don't have facets to facilitate that. Oh, what's this? Lane creeps targeted by Holy Persuasion are turned into Zealots, and Zealots receive benefits of Holy Persuasion. I mean, this does actually make so much more thematic sense that Shen can just turn a bunch of these creeps into super creeps, basically. Like, okay, here, look, let's see what this looks like. So I get that. Where's my creep? Oh, there he is. Oh, look at this little guy. Look at him. Yeah, so you just get like, you get a mega creep of your own control, and you can use them to. Oh, that's actually kind of cool. And it takes a minute for them to respawn. That I like that. That actually makes so much fucking sense. Yeah, and then if I TP over to the creeps here, I use Holy Persuasion, right? Wait, is it a... Wait, what? Oh, do I have to get my shard? Is that it? Is that it? Oh, it has to be... Huh? What? Holy Persuasion. Lane creeps targeted by Holy Persuasion are upgraded to Zealots. I'm reading the patch. But I just did it. I did Holy Persuasion on a lane creep. He then turned into a Zealot. Can't target allies. I'm assuming that this is probably a map replay bug, if I had to guess. Yeah, if I had to guess. Yeah, because he's not... I can't... Okay, anyway, I'm assuming this is just a bug, or I'm just not reading the spell correctly. Anyway, I gotta fast forward this. I don't have a ton of time left to keep reading these patch notes. Clink's buff. Nerf to movement speed. Nerf. Okay, Clockwork. Armor power. Now also allows him to eat the chainmails. Okay, so that's one facet distilled into Clockwork. Let me write that down in my script here. Clock got his eat armor facet. Power cogs now move. Clockwork can now move freely through the cogs, sticking them down while walking, sinking them down while walking over them. Other units can walk over sunken power cogs. Interesting. But that means that they're not going to be the big power cogs anymore, correct? So that means, let's see, what does this look like? Oh. But that means enemies... Yeah. Wait. I need to see, like, what if you time it that, like... Because if you try to walk out of the power cogs at the same time, does that mean the ones on the outside will try to hit the... Oh. I guess you gotta be quick. So... Wait, I gotta walk here. God damn it. No, it doesn't. So you can't do the pinball Clockwork anymore. Unless I'm... Yeah, I guess you still can. But now the enemies can't, like, walk through the gaps in the cogs and just get instantly, you know, pinballed themselves. So you have to do this now. Can you hit the cog that you're standing above? You can't. Oh, wait, you can. You can. Oh, wait, hold on. But it didn't... What? Is that a hold on. Could that be because it's an enemy Clockwork? This is important to test. Oh. So yeah, just pinball Clockwork just does not exist anymore. Rest in spaghetti, pinball Clockwork. Okay. I guess they increased the stats. Ooh, excuse me. They increased the stats a little bit. Mana cost for battery assault is lowered. Duration increased. Oh shit. Oh, so okay. So they were able to distill the increased power cogs into overclock now. Battery radius. No longer increases Clockwork's attack speed. That makes so much more sense. This, though, makes a lot more sense. I like this change. Okay. Increases rocket flare damage vision. No longer decreases the cooldown. Oh. But how much? How much does it? So you can't spam flares anymore. But how much does that increase? I'm checking in game if I may, real quick. Rocket flare damage increased by 35. That's kind of like nothing, man. 35%? That's not a ton. Like there, I'm shooting... sorry. Yeah. You can't even one-shot a creep wave unless, I guess, you take the... Oh, you have to wait until level 25 to get the charges. Okay, so the days of Clockwork flare spam is over, which makes sense, but now you get so much more benefit from overclocking. Okay. I think that's a worth change. Alright, let's see. Yeah, immunity inside power cog increased with that. Hookshot cooldown. I think this is a good change. Because Clockwork was way too one-dimensional. You just trap him in the cogs, play pinball with the cogs. If you can get your ags, you just shoot flares all day long. Makes sense. Okay. Portion of Crystal Maiden spends is converted into... Okay, so that's her old... Yeah, Glacial Guard is now her... innate. Okay. Now passively increases... Alright. Oh no, the attack speed is gone. Oh dear, no. So you just get more. You just get more mana. Okay. I would consider this to be a buff? I guess. Yeah. Because it's just been condensed to every part of her kit. Rip the meme Crystal Maiden though. Darkseer. Aggrandize quick to quit change the quick wit. Provides attack speed for each point of intelligence. Yep, and you still get the increase, but it's less. That kind of sucks, but it's okay. It's still a decent amount. Ion Shell no longer gives health, but you get Surge cooldown. That's actually really good. As much as I like Ion Shell, having uptime on Surge is so good. It is so good. It's so broken too. Okay, I consider this to be a good buff. You just get nothing from the Heart of Battle innate or facet. Pixie Dust. Dark Willow's regen always has 20%, which increases to 100 whenever she so you just always have regen bonus. Okay. Intelligence increase, cooldown reduction. All right. Dawnbreaker. Increase damage by 6, so more damage. Break of Dawn increases the max damage from 25 to 10 plus. So it's gonna wait until you have to wait until level 15 before you reach what you were before, but that's okay because it becomes stronger. Bonuses granted are now at their maximum at any daytime caused by Dawnbreaker's abilities for the entirety of that daytime, which is tied to her ult because it now also gives 6 seconds of temporary daytime. I don't know what's the hierarchy of spells that like dictate what is daytime, what is nighttime. I'm assuming this is higher than Night Stalker's priority. I know Phoenix has the highest daytime priority. I don't know if this supersedes Luna's, but we'll see. Heal. Amplification heals Dawnbreaker provides by... Okay. Heals, amplifies heals provide. So everything. So everything that you do from your crit to your Solar Guardian, just everything you just do is just heals. Oh, but that does suck because I did like the cooldown that her old facet gave, but we'll see. All right, so level 15, the slow is replaced with grants movement speed. No! Oh, the movement speed was so oppressive. I liked that, but it's gone now. Okay, but what's the alternative? More crit damage. I consider that a nerf. I really like the movement speed. It made ganking with her such a cakewalk, but we'll see. Cooldown increase. Okay, dazzle. No longer levels with weave heals allies for 60 seconds. Okay, cool. Base armor increased by 1. I'm gonna have to speed this up. I'm so sorry, but I don't have a ton of time left. I still have to get back to work. Okay, so just incremental increases. Projectile speed is faster. Ghost spawn rate is increased, but ultimately it doesn't really affect it that much. More health increased with a change with more spirits. And instead of that is replaced with deaths during exorcism extended duration by 8 seconds. Both allied and enemy heroes. Oh my god. That's going to be a nightmare to deal with. Jesus Christ. Okay. Death Prophet, very strong. Base armor, haha, number 1. But all right, electromagnetic repulsion now deals damage based off 1.5 of Disruptor's intelligence. It was always a little weird that it never dealt damage just from the get-go. Thunderstrike damage increased by a little bit, no longer upgraded by Shard. Kinetic Fence is now a Shard ability. No longer shares level. The kinetic field only has 1 level instead. Cast range is increased. Cooldown is 14. Duration is 4.4. Can now be increased with kinetic. Oh, so this can also be affected by it. Okay, so you just get your kinetic fence now. Okay. Can't put Thunderstrike on the floor anymore, though. All right, so glimpse damage. Okay, so you can't. The distance is okay. Repulsion knockback increased with static storm duration. Radius is replaced with +6 Thunderstrike damage. This also decreases the interval by. Okay. Glimpse cooldown replaced with Glimpse charges. That could be very strong. Doom. I did spoil myself a little bit with Doom, and I really like what they did. Level question pain. Yeah, level death or level pain. Whenever Doom attacks an enemy hero, he applies a curse on them. After 2.5 seconds, the cursed hero bursts with a pillar of fire, damaging itself and enemy heroes in a 66 EFL. There's going to be a lot of that in here. 66 AoE for 15% of the damage taken from Doom over this duration, including the damage from the attack that applied the curse. If the cursed enemy hero is a multiple of 6, the curse damage is and radius is increased by 66%. So stupid. I love it. I love it that they're having a little bit of fun with Doom. I love it. Now the default cast is the okay. Yeah, all right. Cooldown decreased to 66. He's now upgraded with Shard. Replaces the cooldown with 2 charges with 66 return. Okay, so that's his old. That's the what was it? That's the gluttony. The gluttony facet. Scorched Earth. The radius is increased by 6666. Provides Doom with it gives regen now, just like it did before. This is a buff. This is just a gigantic buff. So you're just gonna max this out in lane, and you're gonna become so oppressive. It is bigger. I don't know if level pain is affected by spells. I'm gonna have to check that in game in a second. But this is 10 at max level 7. I'm checking this in game right now. It lasts 16 seconds. That is quite a bit of heal. Actually, this is the perfect opportunity to test this. So if I... Okay, so that doesn't affect it. Like, that's the AoE. I attack him. And then he's got the thing, and it's gonna... I didn't see it. Where was the pillar of fire? That's the pillar of fire? I didn't even see a pillar of fire. I was lied to. Let's see. Where is the pillar of fire, dude? I was told that there was a pillar of fire. Where is said fire? Am I being lied to right now? Wow. Either they just forgot to animate it or something, but okay. Whatever. It's still there. Okay, just Doom just deals damage. And that means you're also not reliant on having to you're not reliant on having to be a higher level than them. All right, stun duration increased by 66 in interval. At the last level 6/6. Aghanim Scepter now applies break, so that means Doom counter picking is now back on the menu. That's on top of the AoE bonus, but it does not increase the damage the damage anymore. And I was a big enjoyer of impending doom, but that is gone now. Very sad. 15 can replaced with 66 damage. Are they trying to make right click doom a thing? Scorched Earth increased. I'm gonna take the Scorched Earth because I already know what's coming. Scorched Earth cooldown replaced with Doom cooldown. What's the alternative? Infernal Blade damage. I mean, minus 10 seconds. That's something. And the permanent Scorched Earth. That seems kind of fucking crazy. That's a little crazy. All right, Dragonite. I know they brought old Dragonite back. Strength game nerf is kind of sad though. But Breathe Fire rescaled to, all right. Cast range now reflects its actual hit range. That's good. Dragon Tail does not have a Elder Dragon specific cast range. Has 25 AoE by default. So it's like Brewmaster's old, like where you throw the little thing on enemies to make them miss. It has a microscopic AoE, but it's there. If somehow enemies are clumped up together, you can stun multiple. Now always grants attack speed, bonus magic damage on attack, and AoE bonus. But what else does it do? I'm checking in game, so that's it. That's all it does. It's just AoE and magic damage. That's all it does. Okay, yeah. Evolves, so it's just old Dragonite. Old Dragonite is back on the menu. So Green Dragon, poison. Red Dragon has splash. Blue Dragon is slow. And yeah, the movement speed is also increased. No longer provides bonus attack range. Oh, attack damage. My bad. Yeah, that makes sense. Increases the cast range of by 350. No longer effective in dragon form. Slightly rescaled. More movement speed. More damage. Yeah, splash. 65 attack speed, slow. Repathing. Fireball is rescaled. More damage but less duration. Oh, that's good. You can still one-shot. Yeah, you can still one-shot creep waves with that for the most part. And Worm effect during dragon form is replaced with Worm's Wrath bonuses. That seems kind of ass, but time will tell if that means I'll actually start playing Dragonite once again. Sad, because Dragonite's facets were actually really interesting. Even though I didn't like them, but they were interesting. Drow Ranger bonus damage decreased. No longer levels with marksmanship. The bonus is in rescaled. All right, so it's lower. Okay. So it just doesn't scale. It's just stuck at 10% all the time. Okay. Now also modifies incoming heat. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Knockback duration scales inversely with distance. So that means the further away they are, the less the knockback is. Okay. Now allows Drow to move with a 35%. Okay, so you can always now move with multi-shot. And they just gave her the vantage point, except it's only for Glacier. So they were able to distill Drow. They were able to distill her innates, her facets. Yeah, both Drow got her facets somewhat distilled. Before it was all high ground, but now it's just Glacier. Okay. Unfortunately, due to time constraints, I have to speed this up significantly more. So I'll just kind of skim through other heroes and I'll just look at the ones that interest me. I'm sorry if I'm gonna have to skip over some of the heroes that you guys like, but you know, all this happened on such short notice, and I still have obligations to do. So, Earth Spirit, okay. Some tiny changes here. Damage increases, ult, okay. Earth Shaker no longer levels with Echo Slam. That's one where you slap creeps, okay. So the damage is just based off level. That's a lot of math. I can't deal with it right now. Stun increased to his Fissure. AoE is increased for Aftershock. Faster Echo Slam projectiles. Okay. Elder Titan's armor increases per bonus movement speed. So the faster you go, the more movement speed you get. Okay. No longer provides armor in return, still grants movement speed, which would let... Okay, so... Alright, cool. Earth Splitter cooldown lowered. Replaced with... Alright, cool. Slight Ember buff. Echo Shard radius decreased. So a little nerf. Less mana. Okay. I cannot be bothered to read any of this. I'm so sorry. Enigma. Gravity well gone. Units moving away from Enigma have movement speed penalty. Okay, so just running away from him is going to slow you. Faceless Void. Okay, I actually want to read what they did here. So Distortion Field, that's one where you slow projectiles, is still there. To around Faceless Void and to 500 around the targeted hero. And ally heroes within radius of him. So if you're next to Faceless Void, you also get his Distortion Field. Okay. Aghanim Scepter now provides Reverse Time Walk sub-ability. Will no longer miss if was used too quickly. Okay, so you just get both the Time Lock slap and that's actually a huge upgrade because you get both. No longer counts down under the effect of Chronosphere. That's pretty nice. Increases the movement speed slow. Okay. This buff doesn't count towards... Oh, so you just... Faceless Void with bonus attacks at the same times. Okay, so as they get debuffed, you get buffed. Okay. Is now the default ultimate ability. Rest in peace, Time Zone. We hardly knew you. I'm just gonna write that down on my notes here. Faceless Void, Time Zone, RIP. Rest in spaghetti, dude. I'm sorry, Grimstroke, but I cannot be bothered to read you right now. Gyrocopter, new innate. So you can't disassemble shit anymore. Okay, so the more you hit them, the more movement speed. Side Gunner's now separate ability. Okay, cool. Cast range increase. Damage rescaled. Okay. No longer doubles all sources of evasion. Now doubles redirection. Oh, okay. So that means more trees are just gonna die. Now treats hero creeps as creeps. Okay. Okay. Huskar. He still had int. Okay. Okay, damage increased. Enemies within now receive a flat. Okay. Health increased. So you can be activated for a health cost. Okay, so they were able to give Cauterize to as a shard now. Okay. Yeah, makes sense. Oh god. Alright, Invoker. Level, alright, they're brought back. Oh, that's true. Invoker is going to be another example of someone who's going to lose a lot of cool uniqueness because of the facets being deleted. Okay. Aghanim Scepter Twister damage increased from... right. Whenever Invoker gets an Aghanim Shard or Scepter, these items are inert in the... Wait. So whenever you get an Aghanim Scepter or Shard, these items are inert in the inventory until Invoker activates them manually. Upon activation, he will be presented with 3 upgrades to choose from. Upgrades themselves for both Aghanim Scepter and Shards are unchanged. You can't you can't change selected upgrades. Selling Aghanim Scepter and buy it again will provide the same upgrades you choose the first time. No longer provides... Oh, so you still get all bonuses like you could before, but now you can only choose them. Okay. Let's see. Where is Invoker? I'm testing it. This is something I want to test. Invoker. There you are. So max you out. Bam. And you activate it. Okay. Yeah. So let's say you still want the Sunstrike Cataclysm. So there you go. Oh, it's this. Oh, so there. It's like he's got a little tree, and you activate the shard, and you can have them separately. That might be actually. This might be a buff, actually, if you think about it, because you can now mix and match. Yeah, yeah. This could be a buff for Invoker. Okay, I think this is a good compromise. That's cool. IO. Outgoing damage. Can't be bothered. Sorry, IO. Jakiro. Attack damage rescaled. Okay. No! 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 Why would they do this? No! You can't! You can't do this! Jakiro's like one of the few... Hold on. You can't do this, man! Oh, that sucks. Okay. Increases healing and hits to destroy by 1. Okay. So they gave Blade Form, yeah, okay. Taking damage, yeah, so they made that into his innate. I'm just gonna look at his high level talents, okay. I'm so sorry, but I have to speed this up. I don't have much time, so I'm just gonna go to the heroes that I really want to look at. What's Legion? Oh, Largo. I need to look at Largo. Catchy Lick and pull runes to the... Oh, somebody suggested this, I'm pretty sure, and they added it. Okay, just like Pudge. Okay, cool. Someone is listening to the Dota subreddit. Oh no. Okay, double strumming does not add damage anymore. Increases magic damage per grooving stack. Okay, so that's a nerf. That is a nerf. Bonus armor equal to whenever casts an ability. So it's not just for overwhelming odds, it's for anything. Okay. Now provides movement speed slow upon dealing damage. Okay. Can now stack independently. So you cast it before you go into duel, win the duel, and you get it? Damn. Increases movement speed while becomes ability becomes cast point affecting all allies within target AoE. Legion Commander is always affected, even outside. Oh, that's huge. Oh. Actually, I think this is good. This makes Legion Commander less one note. You're no longer an alt bot. You can now actually provide a ton of utility now for your team. Can now use any abilities doing duel. Will stop attacking as normal during cast animations. Items can't be used. That is really fucking nice. It means, okay, so Legion is like less of a, you know, no brain, but you can now provide a lot of utility. Replace with dual duration, replace with debuff, replace with dual refreshes cooldown on victory. Oh my. I'm gonna play Legion. I'm gonna play fucking Legion. Lishrak, that's a buff. That's a buff because that means all the explosions happen quicker. I'm going to have to skip. Killing or assisting an enemy hero provides lion with both debuff duration while the hero is dead. While the lion respawns or resurrects, he gains 20% damage. Oh, this is nice actually, because before it was kind of dog shit, but now okay. Now has cooldown. Now has empowered melee attacks after cast by default. So even if you don't get the kill, it's just always there. After using Figure of Death, lion signs become empowered. Okay. Can be toggled with right click to disable melee form. Cleave area is okay. Now increases the cone. So you still get the AoE finger, but you no longer reduces the cooldown. So you can't just spam finger. Okay. No longer levels with slow resistance. That still feels like shit, dude. Okay. I'm going to go straight to Mars, my boy. I've already spoiled myself on this, but I love this. I love this. The fact that okay, it's a slight nerf because it's not 70%, but now as long as you're in the laning phase, you will always get 40% healing amplification as long as the enemies are near you. That is so nice, dude. That means as a Mars, you can run at the enemy team, even with your team around you, and still get a metric shit ton of heal. Now, a point targeted ability, Mars will face towards the direction when toggled on. This, I did see this. I'm so happy because his Ags was dog shit. And they turned his old Victory Feast into his Ags. So the cooldown is lowered by 10, increases the duration. If the enemy is killed, Mars and all his allies restore 35% of their max heal and mana get 30% damage buff. And at level 10, you get the mana talent. That might be better than the rebuke range, because that means that you'll be less reliant on other mana items. I might actually start taking this. And this one's kind of sad because this will synergize so well with your Ags. It's actually technically a nerf because it is less cooldown, but more damage, 70% damage. That's nothing to scoff at. So we'll see. This also just means that Mars becomes more of an ult bot than he was before, which I kind of hate. But he got everything from his vision reducing facet or talent. Sorry, facet. It's just gone, which is another sad thing that is now gone. So yeah, it's gone. I'm just gonna skip forward. Let's see what they did to Morphling. Hero model size now scales with his strength and agility and strength ratio. Strength and agility provide Morphling with additional bonuses. His cast range and strength is increased with a portion of his strength. His attack range and movement speed are with a portion of his agility. These bonuses are provided even when replicating. Okay, so you're still an agility hero. You can't go back to being a strength hero, but now you just get a lot of like bonuses and stuff, and you become bigger or smaller. That's kind of cool. I'm gonna have to skip. I'm so sorry. I want to see what they did to Necrophos. Status no longer levels with Reaper Scythe. Health and okay, healing reduction increased. Level 25 talent replaced with. Damn, Reaper Scythe is just gonna insta-gib people. Okay. I want to see what they did to Night Stalker. Now an innate ability. Bonuses changed from... Okay. Attack speed increased. No longer upgraded by Aghanim Scepter. With Shard, increased by Scepter. Increases bonus movement speed by 15%. Attack speed by 50. Killing an enemy hero resets cooldown of all basic abilities. Okay, so you're a snowball-y motherfucker. So Void has the AoE. Okay. No longer upgraded by Shard. What's this? So in replacement of Hunter in the Night, you have Midnight Feast. Both passive and active components. Night Stalker heals himself when attacking enemy units. Attacks on allied units and buildings will not heal. Okay, so every time you attack. Okay. Can be cast at night to eat a so it's just his old Shard. Okay. This actually helps with your sustain. Actually. Night Stalker can now actually be a tanky pos 3 or a sustain pos 3. Crazy. Okay. I did see this. Omni Knight got some base damage nerfs, but your spell is now Pierce BKB, which is kind of busted. And you also get the heal from the old innate, which was added now, just base. Is now a no target ability. AoE is now aura centered around Omni Knight. Yeah, it becomes global. Yeah, so what it was before. I'm so sorry, but I have to skip more. Primal Beast. Oh, please. I hated his old innate. Base movement speed, area of effect. Oh, this is so much better. This is so much better. Why did they give Primal Beast a sieging innate? That was dog shit. This is so much better. I'll actually want to play him because now it feels like his innate isn't being wasted. Flesh Sheep no longer levels with this member. Permanent bonuses. Okay. All right. So Pudge is more or less the same. Razor. Buff? Well, I have the Storm of active, twice as high. No nerfs to Razor. Amazing. What did they do to Rubik? Rubik gains 1 stack of curiosity per level, granting him 1 base damage and 2 area of effect bonus. If Rubik sees an enemy hero, cast an ability within... oh, so casting spells around Rubik makes him stronger. Currently, if an enemy that currently provides temporary curiosity dies after taking damage to Rubik, he gains 1 curiosity permanently. They gave Rubik infinite scaling. Oh no. Oh, I know a lot of people are going to be very, very happy with this. Oh my. There's so much. There's so much, and unfortunately, I really have to get back to work. I'm just gonna keep looking at a few more that I really want to look at. Sven, base damage, strength increased. The Vanquisher is gone. Wrath of God increases attack damage. Sven. Okay, so you just get more damage. You just get more damage per strength. Okay. Makes Warcry undispellable, increases radius. Warcry provides physical damage and additional movement speed when active. Okay, so it's just stronger active. Okay. Not much of a difference here. Stormhammer cooldown and mana cost. Okay. Oh god. Oh god. I want to read this, but I can't. Fuck it, I'm gonna read it. Increases mana regen by a portion techies max mana increase. When techies die, they leave behind a barrel that explodes after 1.5 seconds, dealing magic damage. Is that fucking martyrdom from Call of Duty? Dealing magic damage equal to 50 plus 30% of their max mana to enemies in a 400 area of effect. Barrel provides damage until it 400 vision until it explodes. Grants increases mana to damage by 10% at plants the Mad Barrel, which is old, and detonate it by using a sub ability. The Mad Barrel is invisible and can be destroyed before the detonation process begins. Detonating makes it visible and immortal, and it explodes. Only one barrel can. Only one Mad can exist via the active cast point at one time. The barrel is planted by a 1-second channel. Oh my god, they just really wanted the remote mines in some form to be back. Now deal self damage. Oh my god. Okay, well, welcome back. Welcome back, techies. What the fuck? Whenever an enemy hero, a Tidehunter, whenever an enemy hero dies while affected by Tidehunter's debuff or is killed by him, they drop a fish. Tidehunter can eat this fish and grow in size permanently. Tidehunter automatically eats a fish. They just really wanted to find a way to make Tidehunter still have like the krill eater thing. Oh my god. Bonus: the fish flies 400 units towards upon respawning. Stays in the world indefinitely and can be destroyed by... So if you die, you lose fish? Is that... No, they can destroy the fish before you get it. They're giving more heroes infinite number go up, dude. No. Oh god, I heard... Oh my god, I can't. There's too much. There's so much. I don't have time. I do know for a fact that they buffed Underlord, one of my favorite heroes. Why would they do this? They look, 100 at max level. That means you can activate that new tier 4 item with this. That new tier 4 item that like echoes the damage, you can activate it with Firestorm max level. And guess what? They also buffed its cooldown right there as well. So it's just like, why would they do this? Underlord is just going to be so... this is so good. I want to play Underlord as well. Unfortunately, I think I'm going to have to end it here, but... I am as much as it pains me that facets are gone, right? And I wish that... I wish that wasn't the case. I feel like it was a necessary sacrifice because... Facets added a layer of balancing, I guess, intrinsics to the game that made it a little too difficult to manage, even for Valve. And no matter how experienced a Dota team might be, adding that was a little too much. And fortunately, Facets was still relatively new, so their removal isn't that damaging to the overall identity of Dota, because it was never really part of its identity to begin with. It was a nice recent change, but them removing it earlier is better. Like, if they waited to do this 5 years down the line, it would have been far like more damaging to Dota's identity. But doing it this early, I think, was necessary. They removed the problem, or they removed the problem mechanic before it could become even worse and more ingrained in Dota's identity. So I feel like it was worth it. And besides, they found ways to kind of remix abilities from Facets back into hero kits where they could. I'm apologies again if I had to skip your hero in this patch breakdown thing. I'm terribly sorry. I still have my IRL job to go to, but I really wanted to cover this patch because Jesus Christ, this is a big patch, and now I'm gonna have to do a lot of work because I'm working on 3 videos right now, which haven't been uploaded at the time of this recording, and now I have to edit them in order to accommodate for this new patch. Thanks, Valve. And thank you for watching, Internet Wanderer. Let me know if you agree or disagree with any of my assessments here. Let me know if you're angry at me for skipping your hero. I apologize. And let me know what you think about this patch. I am really excited now to play this new patch. There's a lot of juicy things in this patch, and I cannot wait to try them out. So I'll catch you guys later, and look forward to new videos coming next month. Bye bye.